Most people think the scariest part of online dating is being ghosted, but for Mia Hartley, the ghost was real, and he wasn't done yet. It started like any ordinary evening: laughter, candlelight, and the faint clink of teacups on porcelain. But by the end of that night, Mia would be running barefoot through the rain, her heartbeat pounding louder than the sirens, chasing the man she thought she knew. Because the face she'd fallen for was the same one plastered across every news channel in the city, and she didn't discover it until he was standing in her kitchen. Mia was 28, a graphic designer who spent most of her time between her laptop and her cat. Her friends teased her about her love life, or lack of it. So one night, after too many glasses of wine and a nudge from her roommate, she downloaded a dating app. His name was Eli Carter. Tall, soft-spoken, with that kind of quiet charm that disarmed you instantly. They messaged for a week, late-night talks about movies, travel, music. He had this way of making her feel seen, like he actually cared about the little things. Their first date was simple: coffee, then a walk by the lake. He brought her daisies. He remembered her favorite color. Nothing felt off. Nothing ever does at first. By their third date, it felt easy, safe. He was polite, thoughtful, attentive, the kind of man you don't expect to find anymore. So when he offered to stop by one Friday evening with some loose-leaf tea he swore was life-changing, she said yes without hesitation. The rain had been falling steadily all day, soft at first, then relentless, hammering against the windows of her small apartment. The living room was warm, dimly lit. A single candle flickered on the coffee table. Mia had been nervous at first, but Eli's calmness had a way of dissolving tension. They laughed about bad Tinder dates, swapped horror stories about work, and argued playfully about movies. At one point, he reached across the couch to hand her a blanket. His hand brushed hers, warm, gentle, confident. She smiled. "I'll make the tea," he said, standing up. "It's better steeped just right." As he disappeared into the kitchen, she turned on the TV. Just background noise, something to fill the silence while the kettle hissed. At first, it was just another commercial. Jingles, laughter, colors. Then, without warning, the screen flickered. "Breaking news," the reporter's voice said, sharp and urgent. Mia's attention drifted lazily toward the screen until she saw the words flash at the bottom. "Police urgently seeking suspect in series of local murders." Her brow furrowed. The reporter continued. "Authorities have just released a composite sketch based on witness descriptions. The suspect is believed to be a white male in his late 20s, average height, with a small scar along the right cheek." Then the sketch appeared. Mia froze. Her breath caught halfway between inhale and exhale. The sketch was Eli. Same jawline, same slightly messy brown hair, even the small crescent-shaped scar near his cheekbone, the one he told her was from a childhood bike accident. The kettle screamed from the kitchen. Her hands began to shake. Her heart raced so fast she could hear it in her ears. She told herself it couldn't be true. It was just a coincidence. Dozens of people probably looked like that. But her gut, her instinct, whispered the truth before her mind would let her accept it. She reached for her phone, fingers trembling, and typed a single message to her best friend. "Call the cops now." She hit send. From the kitchen, Eli's voice floated through, casual and calm. "How do you take your tea?" Her throat felt dry. Just milk, no sugar." He hummed softly in response. The kettle clicked off. She glanced at the TV again. The sketch still lingered on screen, next to text reading, "Considered armed and extremely dangerous." Her reflection stared back at her from the darkened screen, pale, terrified. Then, quiet footsteps. Eli was coming back. He stepped into the doorway holding 2 steaming cups. The soft amber light from the lamp flickered over his face. He smiled, that same easy, charming smile she had fallen for. And then his gaze shifted toward the television. The smile faltered. His eyes narrowed slightly as he stared at the sketch. The silence stretched thin. The only sound was the faint hiss of glass against the glass. Finally, he looked back at her. His voice was quiet, almost too quiet. "That doesn't even look like me, does it?" Mia tried to laugh, but her voice cracked. "Yeah, of course not. Just creepy timing, huh?" Eli didn't answer right away. He just stood there, expression unreadable, tea steaming between them. Then, slowly, he set both cups down on the table. Funny how sketches never really get the eyes right. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. One text from her friend. "Called, cops are on the way. Are you safe?" Eli's eyes flicked toward her pocket. He'd heard it. The room suddenly felt smaller, the air heavier. Mia forced herself to stand, trying to sound casual. I should check on the cat," she muttered, taking a step toward the hallway. But Eli stepped sideways, not menacingly, not yet, just enough to block her path. "Don't you want your tea first?" Her pulse thundered in her chest. Maybe later. The tension was unbearable now. 2 people in the same room, one pretending everything was fine, the other waiting for a chance to run. Then came the knock at the door. Hard, loud. "Police, open up!" Eli's head snapped toward the sound. For a heartbeat, neither of them moved. Then Mia bolted. She shoved past him, sprinting to the door, unlocking it just as hands on the other side forced it open. 2 officers burst in, guns drawn. "Get on the ground," one shouted. Eli froze, then turned and ran toward the kitchen. The officers chased after him, shouting, the crash of broken glass echoing seconds later. Mia collapsed on the floor, shaking, tears streaming down her face. When she looked up again, Eli was gone. The back door was open. The rain poured in. They searched for him for weeks, every nearby town, every back road, but Eli Carter, if that was even his real name, was never found. The police later confirmed that his fingerprints matched several unsolved cases in the area. All the victims had one thing in common. They'd met their killer online. Mia never went back to the dating apps. She moved across the state, changed her number, started over. But sometimes, late at night, when the rain hits her windows just right, she swears she can hear a faint whisper outside, a voice she can almost recognize. "How do you take your tea?" Be careful who you let into your home, because sometimes the monsters don't need to break in. You invite them yourself.